Happy morning, children. Have a great day. Yes, I hope you are all safe at home. Okay? Yes. Today, this is our English class. Yes, I hope you are all watching all your English video classes. Isn't it, children? Very good. And today's class, we are going to see revision. Yes, revision in grammar. Yes, what are all the portions included in term exam? Those topics alone we are going to revise today. Yes, so watch the video class carefully. Yes, and from now also you can at least learn thoroughly. Yes, children? Okay, let's get into the topic. Active voice and passive voice. Active voice and passive voice. Voice is that form of the verb which indicates whether the subject is the doer of the action or something is being done to the subject. Okay, so voice is that form of the verb which indicates whether the subject is the doer of the action or something is being done to it. Yes, that is called voice here. Active voice and passive voice. Active voice is if the subject is the doer of the action, then it's said to be active voice. So, if the subject is the doer of the action, then it's said to be active voice. Clear? And next one is passive voice. If the subject is the receiver of the action, then it's said to be passive voice. Clear? If the subject is the receiver of the action, then it's said to be passive voice. So, if the subject is the doer of the action, it is active voice, and if the subject is the receiver of the action, it is said to be passive voice. If the subject of the verb is the doer of the action, the verb is said to be active voice. If the subject of the verb is the doer of the action, the verb is said to be in the active voice. Let's learn with more examples. Okay? The gardener waters the plant. The gardener waters the plant. Here, the gardener is the subject. He is the doer of the action watering the plant. So, this sentence is in active voice. Okay, now get into the next example. Anju killed a snake. Here, Anju is the subject which performs the action. Here, Anju performs the action of killing a snake. So, obviously, this sentence is in active voice. Let's get into the third example. She helps me. Here, she is the subject which is performing the action helps me. Yes, so here the subject is the doer of the action. So, it is in active voice. So, are you clear? In all these three sentences, the gardener waters the plants and Anju killed a snake. She helps me. In all these three sentences, the gardener is the subject which performed the actions of watering the plant. Anju is a subject which performs the actions of killing a snake, and she is a subject which performs an action helping the other one. So, in all these three sentences, the subject is the doer of the action. So, these sentences are in active voice. Clear? Now, when the effect of the action is received by the subjective object, The sentence is said to be in passive voice. Yes, when the effect of the action is received by the subjective object, the sentence is said to be in passive voice. So, if the subject of the sentence is the recipient of the action, it is said to be in the passive voice. Is it clear? The sentence will receive an action. Yes? Yes. Let's see with more examples. First one. The plants are watered by the gardener. Yes, the plants are watered by the gardener. Here the subject receives an action. So the sentence is in passive voice. Yes, look at the second sentence. A snake was killed by Anju. A snake was killed by Anju. So here the subject Anju receives an action. Isn't it? Anju receives an actions that a snake was killed by her. So the sentence is in passive voice. Now look at the third sentence. I am helped by her. Yes, I am helped by her. Here the subject receives an action. So this sentence is also said to be in a passive voice. Is it clear, children? So in all these three sentences, the subject of the sentence receives the action. So it's said to be in passive voice. Now let's discuss the rule for changing active voice into passive voice. Clear? So the rule for changing active voice into passive voice. Let's discuss the rule 1 with an example. Sachin scored a century in the match. This sentence is in active voice. Yes? Okay. Now look at the passive voice. A century was scored by Sachin in the match. So, according to the first rule, the subject of a sentence in the active voice becomes its object in the passive voice. So, the object in the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. That is what the rule number 1. While changing an active voice sentence into a passive voice sentence, the subject in the active voice will become the object in the passive voice sentence, whereas the object in the active voice becomes a subject in the passive voice sentence. In this sentence, first in active voice sentence, Sachin is the subject, whereas century is the object. While transforming it into the passive voice, century become the subject and the Sachin become the object. Yes? Thus, according to rule 1, the subject of a sentence in the active voice becomes its object in the passive voice, and the object in the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. So, rule number 1 is clear? Okay. Now, rule 2. We'll discuss that with another example. Water supply was restored after 2 days. Here, the doer of the action is not mentioned. Who restored the water supply was not mentioned in this sentence. That is the rule 2. If the doer of the action is not important, it is usually not mentioned in the sentence in the passive voice. If mentioned, it is introduced by the word be, by. Yes? That's what the doer will be mentioned by the word by. Who did that? Yes? That is what your rule 2. Third example. The postman delivers our letter. And the passive voice of this sentence is, our letters are delivered by the postman. Here in this third rule, the verb in active voice takes its past participle form in the passive voice. Is it clear? So the verb delivers will change into past participle are delivered. So the postman delivers our letter will change into our letters are delivered by the postman. That is rule 3. Now look at the fourth sentence. My mother gives us piano lessons every day. It is in active voice. So how it change into passive voice? We are given piano lessons by my mother every day. So the rule 4 is when we change a sentence from the active voice to the passive voice, the tense of the verb must remain unchanged. Is it clear? The tense of the verb must remain unchanged. My mother gives us. It was given in present tense, and also it has given that we are given piano lessons. That is also in present tense in passive voice. That is rule 4. Look at the fifth sentence. The minister is distributing blankets among the poor. And it is changed into passive. Blankets are being distributed among the poor by the minister. Here the fifth rule is the subject in the active voice must agree with the verb in the active voice. The subject in the passive voice must agree with the verb in the passive voice. See, the minister is distributing blankets among the poor. Here the voice, active voice is in singular subject, minister, and the singular verb is distributing. So, in active voice, singular subject minister and the singular verb is distributing. Whereas in passive sentence, blankets are being distributed among the poor by the minister. Here the passive voice, the plural subject blankets and the plural verb are being distributed. So that is rule 5. The subject in the active voice must agree with the verb in the active voice, and the subject in the passive voice must agree with the verb in the passive voice. Yes, if it is singular subject in active voice, there should be singular verb, and if it is plural subject in passive voice, it will be having the plural verb. Is it clear? Now look at the sixth sentence. I can complete this work on Friday. In passive voice, the same sentence. This work can be completed by me on Friday. And the rule 6 is, if a sentence in the active voice has a modal verb, the word be is added to the modal verb in the passive voice. Is it clear? If a sentence in the active voice has a modal verb, which is called modal verb here, can, should, would, all this modal verb will be added by be in its passive voice. So, I can complete this work on Friday, which can be written as this work can be completed by me on Friday. So, be should be added along with this modal verb. That is your rule 6. Now look at this tabular column. Depending on the tense of the verb in the active voice, it needs to be changed to its corresponding form in the passive voice. So the tense of the verb should be changed to its corresponding form. The perfect continuous tense does not have a passive voice. Make note of it. Okay. So, in present tense, in present simple, see, I click photos. Yes, that which can be converted into passive voice like photos are clicked by me. Isn't it? Now look at the second sentence. with the same present active voice, present continuous. I am clicking photos. So photos are being clicked by me. A word being should be added. And look at the present perfect in active voice. I have clicked photos. While converting into passive, photos have been clicked by me. Is it clear? Now check with the past tense, past simple. I clicked photos. Photos were clicked by me. Is it clear? And I was clicking photos. I was clicking photos. Photos were being clicked by me. And in past perfect, I had clicked photos. Photos had been clicked by me. Clear? Now let's check with the future simple. I will click photos. Photos will be clicked by me. Whereas in future continuous, I will be clicking photos. There is no passive voice for the continuous tense. Yes. And I will have clicked photos. I will have clicked photos. Photos will have been clicked by me. So this is what it depends upon the tense of the verb. It will correspondingly it will be changed in the passive voice. Yes, you go through this tabular column, you will get an idea how to convert the tense of the verb from active voice to the passive voice. Is it clear, children? Alright. Now we'll get into the next sentence. I solved this puzzle. This puzzle was solved by me. When personal pronouns are used as the subject of the sentence in active voice, they change their form when they become the object in the passive voice. So here I is the pronoun which will become the object in the passive voice by changing its form to me. Is it clear? I solved this puzzle will change into this puzzle was solved by me. That is your rule 8. Is it clear, children? Okay, now get into the last sentence. The lioness looks after its cubs. While changing into passive voice, the cubs are looked after by the lioness. Yes? So, here, if a verb is followed by a preposition in the active voice, the preposition is retained in the passive voice. Is it clear? So, if a verb is followed by a preposition in active voice, the preposition will retain in the passive voice. Here the preposition after will retain in the passive voice as well. Clear? That is your rule 9. So once again, I repeat the rules of forming sentences in passive voice. Okay? The subject become object when the subject of the sentence in the active voice become its objects in the passive voice, and the object in the active voice becomes a subject in the passive voice. Once again, if the doer of the action is not important, it is usually not mentioned in the sentence in the passive voice. If mentioned, it is introduced by the word be, by. Thus, rule 1, the subject became object and the object became subject while converting from active voice to passive voice. And rule 2, if the doer of the action is not important, it is not mentioned in the passive voice. If mentioned, it is introduced by the word be, by. Clear? Now we'll get into the third one. The verb in active voice takes its past participle form in the passive voice. Yes? And fourth one, when we change a sentence from the active voice to the passive voice, the tense of the verb must remain unchanged. Clear? And the fifth one, the subject in the active voice must agree with the verb in the active voice. And the subject in the passive voice must agree with the verb in the passive voice. And sixth one, if a sentence in the active voice has a modal verb, the word be is added to the modal verb in the passive voice. Clear? And the seventh one depends on the tense of the verb when it needs to be changed to its corresponding form in the passive voice. And the perfect continuous tense does not have a passive voice. Yes? And eighth point, when personal pronouns are used as the subject of a sentence in active voice, they change their form when they become the object in the passive voice. And last, the ninth point, a verb is followed by a preposition in the active voice. The preposition is retained in the passive voice, isn't it? If a verb is followed by a preposition in the active voice, the preposition is retained the same in the passive voice. So children, all these 9 points are to be followed while forming the sentences in passive voice. Okay children, now we'll get into our grammar next topic, agreement of subject and verb. Yes? Here, see, in a sentence, the verb must agree with the subject in number and person. Okay? So, in a sentence, the verb must agree with the subject in number and person. Let me explain this with an example. Look at the sentence. Rishi is going on a trip to Himalayas. Here, Rishi is the subject which is in singular form, and thereby the verb is going is also in singular form. Thus, in a sentence, if the subject is singular and the verb should also be singular. Clear? Now check into this sentence. Karim and Mohan are the opening batsmen of our team. Yes, Karim and Mohan are the opening batsmen of our team. Here the subject Karim and Mohan is in plural form. Thus the verb are, the plural verb are is used. That the plural subject, verb is also plural. This is the agreement of subject and verb. Thus, the subject is singular, verb is also singular, or if subject is plural, verb is also plural. This will vary in certain cases. We'll check that. Verb must also agree with the subject in person. Okay? Check here the examples. First one, I am well. Here the verb am agrees with the subject I, which is in the first person. Yes? So, the verb am agrees with the subject I. I is in the first person. Whereas, in the second example, you are well. In this sentence, the verb are agrees with the subject you, where you is the second person. Clear? So, the verb are agrees with the subject you, where you is the second person. Now, third sentence, she or he is well. Okay? In this sentence, the verb is agrees with the subject he or she, which is in the third person. Here, the subject she or he refers to the third person, and the verb is agrees with the subject. And now the fourth sentence, they are well. In this sentence, the verb are agrees with the subject they, which is also the third person. Is it clear? So the verbs must also agree with the subject in person. In next condition, verbs at a distance from the subject. See, in some sentences, the verb is not placed next to the subject. So, In such sentence, the verb must agree with the subject and not the noun or pronoun closest to it. Is it clear? In case if the subject is not very next to the verb, you should not consider the noun or pronoun closest to it. You have to consider that the verb must agree only with the subject at a distance from the subject. Is it clear? When verbs at a distance from the subject, the verb must agree with the subject only. Now let's check some examples. See, first example, my friends, including Priyanka, the tall girl with short hair, and Grishma, the short girl with curly hair, suddenly enter the room. Here, the subject is friends. Clear? And the verb should agree with the subject friends. Thereby we are using the verb enter. Here, the subject friends is in plural form. So, the verb enter is also in the plural form. Is it clear? Now, look at this second example. The man who owns the villas and the apartments in South Bangalore has called. Here, in this sentence, the subject is the man. Okay? And the subject is in singular form. The man, only one man. It is in singular form. So, the verb has called. It is also in singular form. So, the subject is the man, thus the subject is singular and the verb has called is also singular. Now check next condition. Sentences starting with there or here. Okay? See, look at the sentence. I will clarify this. Example 1. There is no table in this hall. Here, in most sentence, the verb is placed after the subject. In sentences that begin with there, the subject is placed after the verb. So, the verb needs to agree with the subject and not here or there. That's why here in the sentence, the verb comes next before subject, whereas next to there is no table in this hall. But the verb needs to agree with the subject only. The subject is table, therefore the verb is. Clear? Now, second example. Here are the books you ordered. So, here also the verb is before the subject. Here the books is the subject. So, you should not consider the word here. You should consider the subject books. Since the subject books is in plural form, the verb should be also in plural form. That's why are. Here are the books you ordered. Is it clear? So, the sentence starting with there or here should not be bothered. Clear? Singular subjects joined using and. The next condition is singular subjects when two singular subjects joined using and. Look at the first example. Lohit and Fred are friends. Is it clear? If two singular subjects are joined with and, a plural verb is used. Simple. Since Lohit, one singular subject, Fred, the other singular subject, is joined using and, the verb should be in plural form, therefore are used. Lohit and Fred are friends. And also look at the second example. She and I were hungry. Yes? So, both the subjects she and I are combined using and. That's why the verb were is used. Yes? Okay. Compound subjects joined by or nor. Okay. When a sentence has two subjects, one of which is plural and the other is singular, joined by the conjunctions and or. The verb agrees with the subject that is closest to it. So, in one sentence, if you have two subjects and one is singular and one is plural, what you will do? And those two subjects are combined, joined by using the conjunctions and or. In such case, you have to give preference for the subject that is closest to the verb. Is it clear? Look at the first example. The boy or his friends jog every morning. In this case, the boy is one subject with singular form. His friends is the other subject with plural form. So, the jog is also in plural form since it's next to the plural subject. Clear? So, the boy or his friends, here the subject friend should agree with the verb jog, which is also in plural, every morning. So, the boy or his friends jog every morning. Now, check with the second example. His friends or the boy jogs every morning. In this case, the first subject is plural, whereas the second subject is singular. So, the verb agree with the closest subject, which is singular. Therefore, the verb is also singular in this sentence. Clear? His friends or the boy jogs every morning. So, when a sentence has two subjects, one of which is plural and the other is singular, and it's joined by the conjunctions and or, the verb agrees with the subject that is closest to it. Is it clear? You have to consider the verb which is closest to the subject. Only depend upon the closest subjects, the verb will agree with either singular form or the plural form. Is it clear? Okay. Sentences with as well as with. See, when a sentence consists of two subjects that are joined by the words as well as or with, the verb takes the singular or plural form based on the first subject. Okay? So, let's check this with an example. The director as well as the crew is going for the first show. Here you have two subjects. First subject the director, the second subject the crew. In case of this word as well as, you have to consider the first subject. So, agreeing with the first subject, the director, the verb is going is used. Therefore, the singular subject, the verb is also singular. So, the director as well as the crew is going for the first show. Clear? Now, look at the second example. The crew with the director are going for the first show. Here, the first subject is in plural form, the crew. Therefore, the verb agrees with the first subject and the verb is also in plural form, are going. So, the crew with the director are going for the first show. So, is it clear? Okay. So, now the sentences with each, either, neither, everyone, everybody, one of them. So, when the sentence have the words each, either, neither, everyone, everybody, one of them are used, the verb takes the singular form. So, when a sentence use any one of these words, always the verbs are in singular form. Clear? We'll check this with examples. First example, either color is fine with me. So, here the word either is used, therefore the verb is in singular form. Either color is fine with me. Okay. Now look at the second example. Everyone has arrived at the party. Here the word everyone is used, thus the verb has is in singular form. So everyone has arrived at the party. So when we use each, either, neither, everyone, everybody, one of them, when we use all these words, the verb is always in singular form. Is it clear? Okay. Next condition, sentences with either or, otherwise neither nor. In a sentence where two subjects are joined with either or, otherwise neither nor, the verb agrees with the subject closest to it. Is it clear? So when we use two subjects by joining either or neither nor, the verb agrees with the subjects closest to it. Look at the example. First example, either my mother or my sisters are choosing my shirt. So here the first subject is in singular form, whereas the closest subject to the verb is in plural form. The verb is also in plural. So either my mother or my sisters are choosing my shirt. Clear? Since the subject closest to the verb is plural, the verb is also in plural form. Right? Now check with the second example. Neither my sisters nor my mother is ready for the party. So here the first subject, neither my sisters, is in plural, nor my mother. So the second subject, which is closest to the verb, is in singular form. So the verb is also in singular form. Is it clear? So neither my sisters nor my mother is ready for the party. So the closest subject is singular. The verb is also in singular. Clear? Good. Sentences with much and a little. See, much and a little are used with uncountable nouns in a sentence. They take the singular verb. Is it clear? So when a sentence have much and a little, it always takes the singular verb. Look at the example. Only little of the food has been eaten. Since here little is used, the verb is in singular form. Much money has been spent trying to repair the fan. Here much is used, therefore the singular verb has been is also used. Is it clear? Okay. Let's check the next condition. Sentences with many and a few. So these words are used with countable nouns and they take the plural form of verb in a sentence. Clear? When a sentence have many and a few, it always takes the plural verb. For example, a few of my friends have got their results. So a few of my friends have got their result, which has the plural verb. And also many of my friends are waiting for their results. Here also we use many, thus the verb is in the plural form. Is it clear? Good. Next condition, collective nouns. When collective nouns like jury, group, team, crowd take the singular or plural form of the verb depending on the meaning of the noun. Is it clear? When we use the collecting nouns, depends upon the meaning of the noun, either the singular form of verb or the plural form of verb is taken. Okay? Look at the first example. The group sings really well. Here, the group refers to a singular subject. So, the singular verb since is used. Whereas, check with the second example. The group members have been debating which song to sing. Here, the group members, the noun is in plural form. Thus, the verb have been is also in plural form. Is it clear? In the first sentence, the subject group act as a single unit and the singular verb form is used. In the second sentence, the subject group members do not act as a single unit and the plural verb form is used. Clear? Now, the last condition. Name which look plural. See, the name of a book or country or organization may look like it is plural. However, as the name indicates a single thing, the singular verb form is used. Clear? So, the name is only a single thing. So, only a singular verb is used. Look at the first example. The United States of America is a country I want to visit. Here, the name indicates a single thing. Therefore, the singular verb is used here. Clear? As well as the second example, the Three Musketeers is a classic. The Three Musketeers is a classic. Here, it is a name of a book. So, it is also refers to a single thing. Thus, the verb in singular form is used here. Clear? So, children, so far we have discussed the agreement of subject and verb in varieties of conditions. Kindly go through this and practice your book exercise. This is your revision class. Alright? In this revision video class, we have discussed about the active and the passive voice and also agreement of subject and verb. Kindly go through the video and get practice more and more with your book back exercises. Okay, children, prepare well for your examination. This is your exam revision. Alright, stay home, stay safe. Thank you, children. Have a blessed day.